Guy here, and in today's video we're checking out another classic Mutable Instruments module, Tides Mark II. And I actually had the original Tides when I first started with modular. I think it was the third or fourth module that I got. And I also think it went a bit over my head. I didn't really understand it and I didn't really get it. So when I saw Tides pop up on Reverb for a pretty good price, I thought maybe it was time to try it again, and perhaps with a bit more experience I'll finally understand what Tides is all about. So the plan for today is to sort of break down all the various things that Tides can do. It's actually a very deep module and there's a lot going on and there's a lot it can do. So yeah, we're going to break it down and make some patches. If that sounds good, please stick around. Also, please subscribe if you're not already. If you've been lurking in the background, you've been watching videos here and there, but you've not made that commitment to click subscribe, then I would really appreciate it if you could do that. But yeah, let's dive in to the video. Okay, so let's start with the basics. Firstly, what actually is Tides? Well, the manual says flow, a voltage goes up, ebb, a voltage goes back down. All the functions performed by Tides are variations on this theme. Make ebb and flow cyclic and you have an LFO or VCO. Do it just once in reaction to a trigger and you have an attack decay or attack sustain release envelope. So essentially Tides is either an envelope, a VCO, or an LFO. In the top left here we have the frequency range button, and there are 3 speeds to choose from, which I'm going to call slow, medium and fast. In the top right we have the output mode, and this refers to the 4 outputs along the bottom. Currently I've got the LED off, but there are 3 other modes to choose from. I'll take a look at them a bit later in the video, but when the LED is off, then the first output is basically whatever Tides is doing. The second is a raw asymmetrical triangle. The third is the end of attack. And the fourth is the end of release. In the middle here we have our mode button, which chooses between AD envelope, LFO or AR envelope. Currently I'm in the AD envelope mode with a medium speed, and I'm using output 1 to modulate my filter cutoff. So let's have a listen to Platts. The first parameter that we're going to take a look at is the shift level, and this does different things depending on what mode you're in, but in this sort of basic mode it's essentially an attenuverter. It affects the amount of modulation going to your destination. And this can go into the negative, so if I open up my filter, we get a nice kind of reverse envelope effect. But let's go back to the basic here. Next I'm going to take a look at this smoothness control, and this does 2 things. When it's at 12 o'clock it doesn't do anything. When we move it forward it's actually a wave folder. And you can hear that that's quite an unusual shape for an envelope. And when we move it to the left, it's actually a low pass filter. This probably makes more sense when you're using it in the VCO mode, but it will sort of smooth out the shape of your envelope or LFO. Next, let's take a look at the slope control, which is going to have more drastic effects on the overall shape of your modulation. We can move from sawtooth to triangle to inverted or reversed sawtooth. So another way to get that kind of inverted filter effect. Next we have shape, and this will affect the shape of your attack and release or decay. So if you want a more snappy envelope, we can do it this way. Or if we want more release or decay, and then finally we have frequency, and this is just going to affect the speed of the overall ebb and flow. So we can get super snappy with our envelopes this way. So really all of these parameters kind of work together to give you an incredible amount of variation. I guess next, let's keep the same patch, but we'll take a look at the LFO. I'm going to take the trigger out and just let it free run just now. The frequency control becomes a lot more important in this mode because it's the overall speed of your LFO. And of course we could actually go to the fast speed to get some crazy audio rate modulation happening. Let's go back to medium speed, and I'm going to put a clock in here, and let's set it up. And the cool thing about the clock is when we move the frequency, it's going to be divisions or multiplications of our clock. And I guess the final thing to point on here is that pretty much all of these parameters are modulatable, so let's patch a sample and hold into the frequency of the LFO. So yeah, I guess that's the real basics of Tides. Next I want to take a look at the different output modes, as things can get really interesting when we start utilising all four of the various outputs. So the first output mode that we're going to look is the green LED, which is called different amplitudes. So let's stop the drums and break this patch down. First of all, let's take a look at what's going on here with the oscillator and the filters. So I've got the Vostok Sena, which is 4 analog oscillators going into the Vostok Atlas, which is 4 analog filters. So if we bring up filter 1, we can hear the first oscillator, the second, and you can hear that they're all tuned differently. And I've just set this up to make it really easy to understand what's happening with Tides. I'm using all 4 outputs here as basically 4 filter envelopes, and the shift control is going to move through the 4 different outputs. So I've moved it ever so slightly, and we're hearing output 1. We're now hearing kind of both 1 and 2 to just 2. Just 3. And I was using a sample and hold from Palms to modulate that shift. I'm going to open up the filters a little bit. And of course, we do not need to use sample and hold. We can start experimenting with other modulation types. That's quite cool. I'm going to slow that one down. First output mode, different amplitudes. So the next output mode is the orange LED, and it's called different times. The patch that I've got here is very similar to the last one. 4 oscillators tuned differently and 4 filters. The main difference is that I'm in the LFO mode here, so the 4 outputs of Tides are outputting 4 LFOs, modulating the filters. And the shift control in this mode kind of spaces out these 4 LFOs. When we're at 12 o'clock, they will all pulse or output at the same rate. But as we increase this control, there's a slight delay between each LFO and the next one. And as we increase to all the way to the right, they're going to be equally spaced out. I currently have this running free, but you could clock this and use it like a sequencer in this way. But when it is running free, of course, we can speed it up. And we may as well try it in the audio rate. So we now have the fastest sequence in the world and we can take that down to the slowest sequence in the world. I don't even know how slow this is going to be. I'm going to speed it up. This one, it's a good one for creative patches. You could have your 4 LFOs just triggering different things. So the final output mode we're going to take a look at is the red mode, which is different frequencies. So same patch as before, 4 LFOs coming out of Tides, and when shift is at 12 o'clock, all 4 LFOs are pulsing at the exact same frequency. But as we increase the shift, they're all going to start cycling at different rates, but they're going to be ratios of the original. Easier to hear with a snappier shape. I wonder if you could use this as a drum sequencer or a drum triggerer. I guess there probably wouldn't be that many patterns, but it would probably work. This different frequencies is actually where the chord mode comes from when we're in the VCO mode. I guess next, let's check out the VCO mode. So I'm going to finish off by having a quick exploration of the VCO. Got the slope set to a sawtooth. let's go to the triangle wave and check out this wave folding. I really like that. And the shape control is quite cool as well. And I believe in the first output mode, we're going to get different waveforms coming out of the 4 outputs. This was the raw asymmetrical triangle, I think. Then we had, yeah, square wave with PWM. Then we have the thinnest square wave ever, which doesn't seem to be affected by any of the other parameters. That is so nice. But what I want to do is try the different output modes. So I'm going to patch in all 4 outputs to my filter. Got these outputs panned, so we're getting a bit of a stereo spread here, but let's try out yeah, the different times output. Kinda gives almost a sync sort of sound. Is a very diverse VCO. And then the final output mode, which is the different frequencies, that's the chord VCO. So I'm going to stop my sequence. Shift control, which changes the ratio of the outputs. Yeah, that's really nice. I hope you've enjoyed my initial exploration of tides. I feel like this video turned into one massive overview, but it is a very deep module, and I'm sure there's tons of stuff I've still not checked out. If you've got any tips or tricks, please leave them down below in the comments. If you have enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also, if you'd like to see a deeper dive into tides, maybe more patch based rather than an overview, then also let me know. If you would like to help support the channel, then I have a Patreon where I upload extra videos as well as sample packs and preset packs. You can also grab them on my online store. I have a couple of cassettes for sale. You can pick these up on Bandcamp. And finally, there are some affiliate links down below. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon. Take care.